Welcome back to Tingenuity AI. We're back with another episode, and this time we're going to look at some style features, some style references, style commands, how they can impact the images that we create. I'm here together with my brother, and let's hop on over to Warren.
All right, AI Explorers, welcome to our next Midjourney Monday. We're going to take a look at some food photography, but with a slight twist to it. Jacob, you want to lead us off with what we discussed? We're going to do like previously with some ingredients, and then we're going to add some subtle changes to it with the styles.
So what we're starting with is a simple hamburger, okay? So we noticed, and we have a prior video on this, about how if you just give Midjourney a set of ingredients, and then you add the style tag food photography near the end of your prompt, it's going to put together something pretty amazing. And we put together some pretty amazing looking pictures, no matter what kind of strange ingredients we put together. Mashed potatoes with jalapenos and a fish, it could make it look appetizing and appealing with that food photography style. And so just to remind you of that, by giving Midjourney a simple list of ingredients and adding on food photography, you get something pretty appealing. But then we were thinking, how could we change it? How would different artists render this? And how much influence does providing Midjourney a reference point, how much difference does that make in creating unique versions of the generic hamburger?
Right. And so we decided to take a little change to some of these things, and we're going to inject some artistry to them. And which one do you want to start off with, Jake?
You surprise me. Pick whatever you want to go with.
Okay.
I'm thinking of an artist and figuring out my styles here. So,
Well, I'm using the exact same prompt that you have, and I'm going to use the relatively new style reference parameter. And a style reference parameter is you find an image that you like and that you want it to adhere to that kind of style. And in my photography, I want this to adhere to Salvador Dali's melted clock style. So here I've got my style reference, the sref parameter, and I've got this URL that links to an item that I've already put into Midjourney and have that link for. So now we're going to see what that style reference brings to the table when we put in that exact same prompt. As we can see, Jacob's food photography, it looks fantastic. It does a fantastic job, and it's only improved with the latest versions with making delicious looking food photography. And as we explained previously, you really need just the ingredients. And as you see with our prompt, it's very simple. It just kind of lists what would be in a hamburger, and then it goes. So now we've got my version of a hamburger with the style of Salvador Dali. And it definitely has that look and feel of the melted clock painting, which is a fantastic painting. And it has a lot of nuance to it and really interest to that surreal, kind of weird, strange aesthetic. And we can see in these hamburgers, it has assumed that aesthetic with the clouds. In the top ones, we've got the moon or a planet coming out of the clouds in the bottom right. And then it looks like the bacon is a tongue sticking out of the hamburger on the bottom left.
yeah,
So
no, I like the bottom left too for that reason. I was looking at it. That's kind of fun.
it's taking that reference. So we all know, or we may all be familiar with that melted clock. And so you can use that reference. Additionally, and as Jacob is showing here, you can reference a particular artist and have that infused in the style. So tell us a little bit about what you've created here.
So I wanted to take the prompt and thought of this idea just kind of as you were talking, was I wanted to put the artist at the end, but then I also wanted to try the artist at the beginning to see how that might change the results. And so I'm first going to look at the one with the burger ingredients first, and then the Jackson Pollock reference. And you get some really colorful, interesting paintings. I do think by putting Jackson Pollock at the front, you get more of the style of just throwing things together. And I think the one in the bottom right in particular really looks like a burger that's just thrown together in the same style as some of the paint, the strip technique, and we're throwing paint
Right.
at the canvas. It looks really cool. I like how it turned out. So that's pretty fun.
Those are pretty fantastic.
I
Well,
did
now
want to
I want to.
show our viewers another one of the things we did though. So you take it away and I'll put in another version here in a bit.
Okay, so I'm gonna use your initial prompt here, and I'm gonna put in. Well, I gotta remember to imagine this because we're on Discord, and then I'm going to put in the reference to uh, pointillism,
Mm, a pointillism burger.
and then I'm going to put in this reference here, uh, and we'll see what that introduction of that particular painting style does, along with the source reference or style reference, I should say.
Very cool. Well, while we're waiting on your image to show up, what I've decided to do is I'm modifying it. So instead of food photography or just an artist, we looked at this earlier and I wanted to share it with our audience. A burger is kind of this common everyday thing, but we looked at still life paintings, which feel a little highbrow, right? And so this
Right.
is a burger that's instead of food photography, it's still life. And then the artist that we're modeling it after is Rembrandt. So kind of that Baroque realism feel to these still
No,
life versions of a burger. And so I'm excited to see what happens. But let's take a look at your pointillism burger here.
And the pointillism burger is pretty fantastic.
I'm a fan.
I like it. It's pretty interesting. It definitely mutes the look and feel of the photography that we were doing earlier, and it has that stylistic thing from of an image we referenced in last week's Midjourney Monday, a painting called "The Sunday Afternoon on the Island of the Grand Jet."
Yeah. I like I like all of these. I like the one on the top left that has kind of a tile feel to it as well. So that's pretty cool and I enjoy
Right.
kind of seeing what Midjourney has done with it.
I love the buildings in the background on the bottom left. It's weird.
Dude, check out the still lifes.
Okay, so our still lifes, these are fantastic with the Rembrandt focus. Definitely brings in the lighting effect that he used in a lot of his paintings with that darker kind of
Right.
background.
The
And
darker
the
shadows are present from the Rembrandt
Mhm.
tag. That's definitely what I was thinking too.
But
I
it
like
does have
the
that still
go
life
ahead.
feel. It
Yeah,
does
yeah,
have
yeah.
that still life
I like
feel.
the
So
onions here on the side on the top right image, and then of course the bottom right as well. It has that still life feel because we've got these added elements like you'll typically see, a bottle on the table. And one of our prior still life images, I think, had a ketchup bottle with it, which was fun.
uh
So
yeah,
very cool to see this come together. I like how it turned out.
I love this. So to our audience, you can use just injecting that artist's name into something, but if you add that extra element of the style reference and then reference one of their paintings, you're going to get more of that look and feel. Just like with our Salvador Dali painting, where it has those muted colors and the kind of muted palette. You can do the same thing with any other image that you want to do, and like our pointillism one. So look through the parameters on Midjourney, use them to your benefit when you're creating something that you want to look a particular style. And you can see we used a kind of mundane object, the hamburger, to really make some wonderful pieces of art.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think this is pretty artistic. And as we tested it, and then of course, as we've shared, you can get some unique images and it comes together quite nicely. So thanks again for following along with us. And as always, like and subscribe, and we will see you next week at our next Midjourney Monday.